Hollywood, and I'm hanging out right now with Cameron Boyce, who's great in this show. We call it Paradise City, and it's so good to have you here, man. I love your vibe on the set. You're always so...
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, everybody's really cool, man. Everybody's chill. We're all having a good time. Everybody's vibing, you know?
Yeah.
So it's cool.
I noticed that. It's one of the things, I mean, you've been acting since you were such a young guy, and some of the different things that you've been in, like from a Panic at the Disco video, which was so cool, to all the TV shows that you've done, and movies like Grown Ups, but you've seen a lot of sets. Would you say that this is a group of people that just seem to have a good vibe that keeps the energy right?
Yeah, so honestly, one of the most underrated things about a set and what makes a project good is how people get along, sort of the energy on set that translates then into, the project, right? So it's really important that people are connected, that people are communicating, and that people are just cool with each other,
Yeah.
And you can really tell sometimes when people don't vibe, but then you can, on the flip side of that, when people do vibe, you really see it, and it really shines through, So I think this is one of those where it'll shine through.
That's great. Now tell me about your character.
Yeah. So Simon Ostergaard, but, his last name is a little controversial. So his dad, Oliver Ostergaard, is a really big wig in the music industry. And Simon is his son, but, he's never met his dad. So he has this resentment build up towards his father. And his mother and him have sort of suffered from that whole experience.
Abandonment.
Yeah, and right, of course. And so for him, a lot of his storyline is about, figuring out what it is that he wants to be, right? And he has this passion for music, the same that his dad did, but he doesn't want to be in his shadow. So he doesn't want people to know his name. He doesn't want people to sort of associate him with his dad. And that's a big sort of struggle for him. But he still wants to pursue it. So he ends up sort of connecting with his mom, who has her own problems. And as he's trying to manage his mom's drinking problem and his own, dream and career and his school, he ends up sort of in this crazy story where he ends up, sort of really thriving. And he's just a strong kid who, deserves the world because he works hard. Yeah.
Absolutely does. It's obviously, since it was written by Ash Avildsen, it's your character's based on a young version of him.
It is, yeah. It's his story. Actually, it's really funny. So the first day that I ever met Ash, it was maybe a couple days before we started shooting. But I called him up and I said, "Hey, man, I'd love to talk to you and just, get your take on the script and, all this sort of stuff." And I showed up at his house, and it was him and Boo Boo were actually there. And they were talking about this hawk that had flown into his house.
Holy shit. All right, Bird, let's figure this out. You're blending in real nice with the furniture. Tiger, get away.
And he was like, "Yeah, man, this hawk came into my house and it was crazy." And I was like, "Wait, a hawk flew into your house? Dude, just like an hour ago, a hawk flew into my yard." And so we started talking about it, and we looked at the timestamps on both of our phones. We both took videos of this hawk.
Beaker, there you go. No, over. Tiger, there you go. Yeah, man.
And it was like within an hour of each other, we both had hawks in our properties, like on our properties. So it was like, dude, this is like the weirdest connection ever. Like
some spiritual thing going on.
Dude, it's some sort of cosmic, like the universe was trying to tell us something, man. It's amazing. Like, yeah, we've talked about that ever since. It's like wild.
He's an amazing guy. He's so great.
Cool, man. He's such a nice guy. He has a vision for it, which is always so important. And also, like, a lot of this being so close to his heart, right? He's been in this, this world forever. So for him, it's obviously super important to get it right, make it accurate, make it true to rock and roll. And that's why, the character that I play, it's, really important for me to make sure that it's truthful to him. So, yeah, it's cool.
I think it's great. Now, on the flip side, you've been a part of a breakdancing crew since you were a young kid, right?
Yeah.
X-Mob, right? Tell me about it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was back when I was really dancing. That was a good time. Yeah. Actually, what's funny? I think Is this the Avalon? Is that where we are?
Yeah.
I think there's been maybe like a B-boy summit here or something. I remember this place from a jam actually, so it's cool. Yeah, but yeah, the hip hop community is amazing, man. It's a really fun, sort of similar to the rock and roll community in that maybe it's a little bit controversial and people sort of look at it a certain way, but it's all about love in the end, and it's all about people coming together, right? And so yeah, the breaking was back when I was maybe 11. I started 10, maybe younger, and it was just a way to express myself. We're all artists, right? And we all do stuff that's sort of true to us and fun, and we just put ourselves out there, and that's what it was for me. That was my thing.
I think that's really cool. Do you have any favorite records or artists you can tell me about who you love to listen to?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of old stuff actually. I'm kind of a Motown guy. My dad grew up listening to a whole bunch of Motown stuff, but yeah, I'd say like Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, two of my favorites. If I'm getting into rock and roll though, I gotta be honest, Rush is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Great prog band.
Yeah, Canadian.
Yeah.
They're pretty tight.
Yeah.
Canadian, eh? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I listen to so much random stuff, but yeah, a few names for you there.
That's amazing. And looking at your ancestry too, with Joanne, boyce, who was one of the original Clinton 12. Like that is amazing. It was the first time integration took place in a school, which was such an important moment. Is that wild? Does your family tell you stories about it?
Oh man,
you know her.
We talk about it constantly. It's actually funny. So there's a new Tennessee State Museum that just opened like a couple months ago. My nana was originally going to go by herself, and I was like, no, you're not. So like we all packed up and went, and it was such an amazing thing to see. It was not that long ago. It was 54.
Yeah.
That this high school, this all-white high school in the South in Clinton, Tennessee, was desegregated by my grandmother, who's still alive and in her 70s and still going, and she will be for a long time, right? So it just gives you this perspective of how close that is.
Yeah.
Wasn't that long ago, right? So you sort of think about it and you're like, wow, it's crazy. But yeah, she has the craziest stories. But I think the best thing about her is that she's one of the happiest people I've ever met. Like, she could be so bitter about the way things went and not want to talk about it. All she wants to do is spread love and positivity, and people of white people from the South who were not very happy that she was there originally have like reached out to her on Facebook and like apologized, and she's like so quick to forgive them, and like it's really an amazing story, and I'm super thankful that she's still with us, because she's a living legend.
That's amazing. Well, I love that story, to tell you the truth. It's incredible. I got to tell you, Cameron, it's been so much fun hanging out and talking to you. It really has. And we will be talking more, I'm sure, throughout the shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Which will be great. Thanks.
Get it, yeah.
Awesome. It's Cameron boyce, everybody. We are at the Avalon for Hit Parader. Cool, man. That was good, right? Guys, that was great. Wasn't he great?